Okay, board, at this time, we're going to call to order the June 1st, 2021 regular board meeting for the Tuscaloosa City Schools. We will have a period of silence, and we will follow that by the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Before we get started, I would like to say, on behalf of the board, a congratulations to all of our graduates. We had an awesome ceremony on Friday. And Dr. Daria, job well done by you and everybody associated with TCS, so I won't call individual names, but excellent job all across the board. And I know you had to make a very difficult decision as it pertains to the weather, and it seems like you did right, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everything went really seamlessly, so thank you on behalf of the board.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, board, at this time, may I have a motion to adopt the regular board meeting agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We will adopt this agenda. Item 4, approve the minutes of the May 18, 2021 regular board meeting. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Those will be approved. Item number 5, recognize TCTA BCN TV students for award-winning work. Dr. Daria.
Mr. Chairman, board members, thank you all for having this as an agenda item. The last several board meetings, you all have recognized individuals and teams that have made it at high levels, at whether state level or beyond. And we are proud today to recognize an incredibly talented team of students. Individually and collectively, you saw several of them walk in carrying medals and certificates. And that means they brought home the good stuff from state. So we are super proud of Mr. Harper, Ms. Branch, their principal here, and of course our students, and we'll tell you more about it. But then also our parents who are here to support their young ones. Ms. Bruinton is going to tell you a little bit more about it, and then we'll have Mr. Harper take the podium. Ms. Bruinton.
Thank you, Dr. Daria. Good evening, board members. I'm excited to introduce to you some of our award-winning students at TCTA. As you know, the television production program is one of those programs that's been very popular with our students. For our new board members, this program has been here for a while. It consistently wins honors. Tonight is no exception, as you see with our students who are decorated in their medals and also their BCN TV shirts. And for those of you who hadn't figured it out, BCN, of course, is an acronym for Bryant Central Northridge. Our students at TCTA through the BCN TV program have won awards in 2 programs. One I will introduce you to tonight is from the state of Alabama. This is Skills USA Career Tech Award recipients. That one is a national award connected to Skills USA. And then also the Alabama Scholastic Press Association overall and individual awards. As I introduce you to these students tonight, I will call the names out of all the individuals. When Mr. Harper takes the microphone, he will introduce you to those who are here. You'll hear some of these names being called over and over again because they do great things and they're winning in multiple categories. In the Skills USA Career Tech Awards, television video production, Elijah Brown of Bryant High School, 3rd place. Delshawn Brown of Bryant High School, 3rd place. Digital cinema or film from Bryant High School, we have a 1st place from Ronnie Hicks. Flossie Coven from Northridge High School, a 1st place. Broadcasting news, Jerry Simpson, 1st place, Bryant High School. Caden Richardson, 1st place, Northridge High School. Eli Sims, Central High School with 1st place honors. Jalen Cleveland from Central High School, 1st place. Also from the Alabama Scholastic Press Association overall and individual awards, we have Caden Richardson of Northridge High School, 2nd place. Caitlin Rollins of Northridge High School, 3rd place. Jalen Cleveland of Central High School, 2nd place. Caleb Blossom of Northridge High School, 2nd place. Caitlin Rollins of Northridge High School, 3rd place. Another award for Flossie Colvin from Northridge High School, 2nd place. This is a team here, Jalen Cleveland, Caleb Blossom, DeMondre Simmons, and Javante Clay. First place, that group of students are from all three of our high schools. They work together on that project. Jalen Cleveland Central High School, first place. Douglas Burrows from Bryant High School, second place. Caden Richardson, Northridge High School, a third place honors for him. Ronnie Hicks wins a second place honors from Bryant High School. Douglas Burrows, first place honors. You see I'm calling a lot of the same kids' names over and over again. That just speaks to the quality of the programming at TCTA for those students. Jordan Nolan, Bryant High School, third place. Jalen Cleveland, Central High School with an honorable mention. Jordan Nolan, Bryant High School, third place. Douglas Burrows, second place honors. From Bryant High School, Caden Richardson, Northridge High School, third place. Flossie Coven, Northridge High School, first place. Caden Richardson, Northridge, second place. Brooklyn Peck Love, Bryant High School with an honorable mention. We are excited to honor your students and celebrate the parents who've joined them. And tonight, Mr. Isaiah Harper is here to introduce you to these students and brag on them just a little bit more.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, board. Thank you, Dr. Daria. Yeah, I can't say enough about these students. You can see that their names were repeated over and over. You know, being that it was a pandemic year, this was probably some of the most dedicated students actually that I've had in my 7 years teaching for the school system here. They, even when we started the semester off online, virtually, they were there at every Google Meet. Even if I was a few minutes late with another student on a private Google Meet, when I came on, they go, Mr. Harper, where were you? You know, they were there waiting, and they produced some good stuff from home, which was impressive. And at that point, I knew that, hey, we've got a good team here, and we possibly could take the year. And when we came on campus and all students came together, we came up with a plan. And these students became some of the most dedicated television students I've ever had. All of them, I'm gonna get all of them to stand up and come down actually for a second. And one of my students could not be here, and you heard his name a lot. Right there, that's good right there. You heard his name a lot. His name is Jalen Cleveland. He had an incident that left him hospitalized 2 weeks after he won the state championship. He's on the road to recovery. I asked his mother to be here in his stead. Mom, would you stand up? That's Jalen Cleveland's mother. He wanted to be here. She called me last night and said, Jalen's coming. I said, great. Then today she said he had a bad day, so he's not going to be able to come. Y'all keep him in his prayers. Jalen is one of, just like these students, but he had me 2 class periods, and he would stay in my class all day if he could. I mean, he's that type of student, and my heart really goes out to him right now. And I believe his father is here as well, all right? Over there, from left to right, you have Ronnie Hicks. Ronnie and Flossie, yeah, Flossie, get next to Ronnie right there. They were the digital cinema film production team that brought home the state championship. And what they were able to pull out, I always encourage them, think outside of the box. You know, don't come up with something that you see on YouTube. I need it to be unique, because that is what's going to wow the judges. And that's what they did. Now, I'll tell you, Ronnie is a master of his art. He will work up until the last minute of deadline because he's trying to get it just right. As a matter of fact, the night of competition, we had to have it in by 11:59. I called Ronnie on his phone at his house at 11:40. I said, Ronnie, where is that project? And he says, I'm almost finished. He sent it to me at 11:50, and we got it in at 11:55, and he won first place. So that's incredible. But he and Flossie work together. Flossie is another one of my dedicated students from Northridge. She has me 2 class periods as well, and she would stay in my class all day. You know, I have to tell them sometimes, go. You're trespassing. And then we have Jerry Simpson here. Jerry was Jerry only took one class from me. He took my intro class, and this semester, we were short an anchor for broadcast news. Jerry had been in the news program that I set up at Eastwood Middle School. He had been a host of that program, and so I knew that I could find a substitute in Jerry, even though he didn't have any experience the way that we do it at BCN. And I asked him to step in. He came to every practice. He was there on time, and he and Jalen Cleveland and Caden, who is not here, as well as Eli Sims, were able to pull out the first place broadcast news for the state of Alabama. Jordan Nolan was one of those seniors who left me as of Friday, but Nolan has been one of the best TV students here. He has won many awards at the University of Alabama in competition. He was the second broadcast team. They were not able to place at Skills USA, but they're still gold winners in my book. And Caleb Blossom, I'm gonna tell you, Caleb has only taken one class from me, Intro TV. He came in, he had some natural skills, very creative. We were working on a commercial project, and he said, I'll work on my commercial project by myself. I'm like, okay. And when he got done, I was wowed. It looked like something that you could put on TV just then. And it went to the University of Alabama in competition, and Caleb won the first place editing award on that at the University of Alabama. And then he was in one of our short films, and that short film placed first at the University of Alabama with creative video. And Caleb, by the way, is the son of our counselor here at TCTA, Ms. Blossom, and her husband sitting there. Great, talented team. I couldn't be more proud. You know, teacher tries to get credit. I don't take credit from my students because I teach them the skills, and let's see what they can do with it. So I'm proud of my students. Thank y'all.
Good job.
Well, I like to say, Isaiah, we most of the time make you stand down here and let us say this, but we're going to say it anyway. I am so excited about this program. You know, we did awards and everything in the old TCTA building. We moved to the new building, got you real nice equipment and studios. But you know, equipment, nice buildings is nothing compared to having a heart for what you do as an instructor, and then for the students, having a heart, wanting to go out there and be creative. We appreciate what you're doing. You know, this is the beginning. Now, how many of the other students, was it only one senior? Five seniors? So how many of them was not seniors roughly?
How many seniors?
How many not seniors? Returning. Half of them. Okay, so we're looking for all first place next year, okay? All first place. And we as a board support what you're doing. I remember when we first talked to Isaiah about coming, after when he was at the TV station, and Isaiah said, okay. Then he said, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. And you have really helped our students. We appreciate you. But most of all, parents, we appreciate you loaning us your students to do what they're doing. And all I say is to the parents, don't let them stop. Those are seniors, don't let them stop, because this is just the beginning of what they can do with their creativity. And the world is wide open. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And students, I'm the one on the board that's big about TCTA and entrepreneurship. You can be creative and be whatever you want to be with that skill, that trade. So just put, like he said, push through. If you think of something creative, I don't care if you think it's crazy, just try it. It can be, you can leave here and have your own business, you know, and work for yourself with those type of skills. So just keep pushing with it. I think that's awesome.
Great job. We're proud of y'all. Mr. Harper, we can tell your passion for teaching your students. Ms. Branch, thank you for your leadership at this wonderful school. And quite frankly, this is what it's all about, and that's why we have this school. So, excellent job by everybody. Thank you all for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Before we move on, is there a way we can view the submissions? Thank you.
I don't get stuff out, but I've got a Zoom meeting for the national competition.
Okay.
Don't miss that.
And the students, y'all don't have to stay unless y'all want to see the rest of the board meeting.
Thank you. Oh, that was pick love. Some of us late.
Thank you. Okay, item number 6, board, is public comments on non-agenda items of which there are no people signed up, which brings us to item 7, which are informational reports from the superintendent. 7A, Dr. Daria.
There are no reports?
Okay. And 7B, Mr. Duke?
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Okay, item number 8, introduction of motions, resolutions for first reading. And board, I'll remind you that they will be asking us to waive a second reading this evening, and so we'll come to that in due course. But 8A is discuss approve first reading of interpreter, translator job description. Dr. Cameron, good evening, sir.
Good evening. As mentioned, we are requesting a waiving of the second reading and asking for final approval tonight. This is for the job description of an interpreter translator. We're going to use ESSER funds for this position, and as you have seen, we have many documents we have to translate over 40 languages, so this person will help us do that for this position.
Okay, board, first, may I have a motion to waive a second reading for 8A?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed to that waiver? Okay, board may have a motion to approve the interpreter translator job description.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion, who made the second?
Thompson Jackson.
Thompson Jackson. Any questions or discussion for Dr. Cameron? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? That will be approved. Item 8B, discuss approve first reading of ESL teacher job description. Dr. Cameron.
Yes, sir. Again, we're asking for a waiver of second reading, asking for approval tonight. This is for an ESL teacher, and this is a job description. As mentioned, we have over 40 different languages currently in the city schools spoken, and we're proposing to hire 4 of these ESL teachers. We currently have 441 identified ESL students. We're expecting more to come this fall, so we're asking for this job description to be approved tonight.
Okay, board, first may I have a motion to waive a second reading of 8B?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll waive the second reading. Board may have a motion to approve 8B.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, discussion for Dr. Cameron?
Just one quick one. How will we sustain this, or we just sort of cross a bridge
We're using
later?
ESSER funds, so
ESSER
when,
funds initially?
yes, sir, we
And when they
will,
run
and
out?
then we'll look at staffing when those, that funding source goes out in 2023.
And to piggyback on Mr. Simmons, how long do we anticipate the ESSER funds being available for this position?
This, we're using, this ESSER fund is 2023. We haven't made for ESSER 3, but this is 2023.
Mr. Chairman, may I elaborate a little
Yes,
bit
sir.
too? Because that's a really, and I know we talked about it briefly when Dr. Pope did the ESSER 2 overview. In our notes to you, we talked about ESSER 3 coming as well. That's going to be one of those questions that we've got to continue to look at because we are using these funds for personnel for those specified needs for ESSER. So as Dr. Cameron said, we will absolutely have to calendar these out. We have time. ESSER 3 has to be spent by when, Dr. Pope?
24.
Okay, so we've got this time to be able to determine sustainability. Some of these may not be sustainable past ESSER. So all the job postings that are going out for these positions will have that disclaimer so individuals know what this looks like and what tenure can and cannot look like in these. So that is going to be a question that Mr. Duke, Dr. Pope, Dr. Cameron will bring back to the board pretty regularly, are the personnel allocations for ESSER 2 and ESSER 3. Thank you for asking that question. Thank you, Mr.
But,
Chairman.
Dr. Derry, at the same time, and Mr. Cameron, I hope with the read by third grade, the way it's standing right now, that we do our best to make sure that we keep them as long as we can, you know, even if those funds do run out, because even though it just comes in, it starts, it's going to be with us, read by third grade, for a long time. So we want to make sure that we don't just look at the bank
That's right.
and say that, because our main goal is to educate children. And if we don't get all students reading by third grade and they start being retained, that don't look good for us.
You're absolutely correct. Thank you, Mr. Lucas.
Any other questions? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? That will be approved, which brings us to item 9, consent agenda items. We have 9A, 1 through 3, 9B, 9C, and 9D. Board, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Each of those items will be approved, which brings us to item 10, which is the regular agenda items for final adoption. 10A, approve the superintendent's recommendation regarding changes in personnel. Dr. Cameron, good
Yes, sir.
evening again, sir.
Good evening. You have the superintendent's recommendations regarding changes in personnel. You also have the supplemental list. I will go through, I'm short, so I didn't have to bring it up a little bit. I'll also go through the supplemental list with you. Starting on page 1, you have 3 retirements, 13 resignations, 1 2020-21 resource manager, 8 new certified personnel, 1 rehire of a certified personnel, 1 transfer of administrative personnel approving a 2-year probationary principal contract. You have 2 transfers of certified to administrative personnel. You have 2 transfers of certified personnel, 1 new support personnel, 1 transfer of a support personnel, 2 reassignments of certified personnel. On page 3, you have 5 NAESP principal mentors for the spring semester. You have 12 summer learning academy. To the first supplemental list, you have 1 retirement, 4 resignations, 3 new certified personnel, 1 rehire of a certified personnel, 1 new support personnel, and 3 transfers of certified personnel.
Okay, Board. Before we vote, are there any set-asides for a separate vote and discussion?
Eric, I'd like to set aside number 21.
Okay, number 21 will be set aside. Any other set-asides? Okay, Board, accepting number 21, may I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendations?
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any questions by number only for Dr. Cameron?
4 and 5.
They've listed personal. 1's moving, 5 is moving out of the state, and 4 listed was for personal reasons.
So my main concern is how do we look for
Recruit.
as projections as far as hiring high school
Math teachers.
math teachers?
Yes, sir. So well, we also, you may know about the Teams bill, which is have come through. So we're looking at teams. We're looking not only internally, but also outside as well. We will look probably in the near future of coming back to the board and seeing if we can do something where everybody in the state has teams, but what can TCS do that's a little different? So we're looking at that possibly at the next board meeting to attract those candidates to our to high school, and especially the middle school as well. So we're actively recruiting as well, and you see we've got one on here that's going to be on an emergency certificate that's has the mathematics background, so we'll work on that. So we'll look at those different options. Preferably, we'd like to go with the certified, but if not, then we'll look at other emergency and provisional options for candidates.
I know it's a comment I always ask, you know, when we bring in people on emergency certificates, I just want to make sure that we as a system are giving them as much support as we can to make sure that they can, you know, be successful to pass the practice so they can get those certificates, you know, we bring them in and we fulfill the position, but if we have enough confidence in believing that we can hire them and put them with our students, we need to make sure that we consistent on giving them the support that's going to help them be successful, so we don't be open door, you know, like
Yes, sir.
bring them in.
Sure. And so they've got the mathematical knowledge, they just need the pedagogy, the teacher pedagogy. So that's what we work on as well.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Dr. Cameron? Okay, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Those will be approved. All right, board, may I have a motion to approve number 21? We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Simmons. Any questions or discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? I think you'll abstain.
Yes.
Ms. Powell's abstaining. That will be approved. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, item 10B, discuss approved Learning First Consulting LLC contracts. Dr. Pope, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Board. This contract is for our 21st century sites. There's $6,000 per site, which gives a total of $42,000. This program is a requirement for the federal funds for any 21st century competitive learning grant. And we have 7 grants, and this will be a qualitative and quantitative report, a summary report for the outcomes that impacted during 21st century programs for 21-22 school year. So this is for next year. An outside external, an external evaluator will be providing the report to us. They will be collecting data, qualitative and quantitative data.
Okay, board, may I have a motion to approve 10B1?
Ford, do we need to waive this one, or you good?
Sir?
This, let me see. Final approval, okay, never mind.
And you're just asking for this one on 21st century, right? 10B1?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve 10B1? We have a motion by Ms. Grant.
Second,
Okay. Questions, discussion for Dr. Pope?
have we used this company before?
Yes, sir. Besnoy. That's
Sir?
we've been using this company before. Yes.
How long? Have we been,
We've been using them for our for 21st century, but also for our CX schools as well.
okay. No problems
For
with
about
them?
5 years.
No problems in the past?
No, sir.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? 10B1 will be approved. Item 10B2, discuss approved Learning First Consulting LLC contract for 2021 summer learning.
This is the same vendor. The external provider will be collecting data for our 12 summer sites. We have K-8 schools, 12 programs during the summer for the 5-week program, 5 days a week. And this contract is provide the same report for summer, impacting summer learning. We'll get a beginning report and also an ending report as well.
Board, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion, we have a second by Ms. Powell. Questions for Dr. Pope? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? That will be approved. Thank you, sir. Item 10C, discuss approved purchase and installation of replacement surveillance cameras in high schools. Dr. Pope.
You can appear.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
They look alike.
Chris is a little bit more buff.
Thank you, board members. Earlier on the consent agenda, we considered an item for replacement of network video recorders. We attach cameras to those. Those are the appliances on which the video is stored. This item deals with replacing the surveillance cameras in each of our high schools, and with this appropriation, we would replace all of the cameras that are obsolete in those locations. What questions can I answer for you?
Board may first have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion and a second by Mr. Hamlin. Questions?
Will they be,
Go ahead, Mr. Simmons.
will they be ready with approval, pending approval? Will they be ready by the fall?
So the answer to that is I don't know at this time. One of the things that I've advised our executive leadership on is, and you may know that there is a worldwide glass shortage and a worldwide microprocessor shortage. Each of those cameras is a network endpoint. They have a little web interface on them. So by changing vendors, we actually got a price break, but it's about, and we shortened the timeline. We hope to have them within 2 months. So with an order that we will place this week, we would hope that it would be 2 months before we could receive those items. And then we have a local vendor that installs, and so we would move through each of the high schools. It does take a period of time to get the cameras installed and then tuned appropriately and placed in the software. So we hope that they will be ready for the fall, but I can't guarantee that everyone would be replaced by then. The cameras that are in place are operational right now, so we wouldn't completely lose coverage, but we want to make sure that we're maximizing the coverage in our buildings to protect the safety of our students and our faculty, as well as the property that's there.
Chris, with these new cameras, I know in the past, we've had some questions about being detailed to be able to see, are this new technology is gonna improve the quality of what we're seeing?
Yes, sir. There will be a resolution quality increase, as well as a stability. We've had, with the legacy cameras, you're talking about legacy hardware that goes back to 2013, 14. So we're replacing them with a newer level of technology. So we should get better footage, and we should be able to have better quality on that footage.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions for Chris? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? That will be approved.
Thank you, board members.
Thank you, sir. Board has no unfinished business to tend to. General announcements. Board, we have a board work session next Tuesday, June 8th at 6 o'clock. It will be at the Regions Room at Central Office. And then our next regular board meeting here will be in 2 weeks, June 15th. Does any board member have any other announcements to make? Hearing none, we'll stand adjourned.
Yeah.